Afternoon. This is Crystal's creation. Sorry, I just got stuck on something. Should be able to see me. Okay, there. So I just ran a test. Okay. So we are going to make some envelopes today. I have some different size papers here. This is a Martha Stewart scoreboard plus an envelope triangle. This is my triangle here for making envelopes. It's envelopes for dimensional cards. It does a number 1 size envelope. You would cut your paper at 5.5 by 5.5, and you score at number 2, score at 2, and then 2.5. And then it makes a 4-bar envelope, and you would cut your paper at 7.5 by 7.5, and then you would score at 2 5/8, and then 3 1/4, and then your normal A2, which is 5.5 by 4 1/4 cards, you would cut your paper down to 8.5 by 8.5, and then you would score your paper your paper at 3 and then 3 5/8, which is what I have here. So I have some paper already pre-cut at 8.5 by 8.5. And then your A6 size, which is 9 by 9, you would score at 3. Cut your paper by 9 by 9 and then score at 3, and then 3 3/4. But I didn't cut any of those, but I guess we can cut one of those and make one of those. And then your normal A7, which is 10 by 10, which I have right underneath here. And then your A9, which is 12 by 12 paper, and then score at 3 7/8 and 5.5. And then your number 10, which is your slimline card, and you cut that at 10 3/4 by 10 3/4, and you score that at 2 7/8, and then you turn it and flip it and score it in 5.5. So, which I have some of those cut too, and I'll show you how to do that. So let me get my double-sided scoring tape, and we will get to work on that. And we'll need these for cutting too. So let's make some green glitter. So we'll turn this upside down, grab my scoring tool, because you don't want to never use this thick of a bone folder for making envelopes. I just don't do that because I'm afraid this will always rip your paper if you score too hard. So I don't use my Martha Stewart. I just don't. I'm sorry. I always use my thinner bone folder, the Skinny Girl that I got at Dollar Tree, and I use the smaller one, not the bigger one, but I use the tinier one because it makes better score lines for making envelopes. So this one is the A2 size envelope. So I'm going to score here at the 3. So just going to do one line here at the 3. Right there. Then I'm going to turn and flip it this way. I'm a lefty. I guess righties would flip it the other way. Then I'm going to score it at, so I just scored it at 3, so I'm going to do 3 5/8. So it would be this little line, I believe, after the half mark. So it's right here. So I'm going to score right here. So we're at 3. This is my half mark. This would be the 5/8 mark right here. So we're going to score here. Score there, and then we're going to turn it again. And then we're going to score at 3. And I've seen a lot of other people make envelopes, and a lot of them use those dies to make them, and some of them look so difficult. I'm sorry. But that's your preference. If you want to use a die to make an envelope, that's fine. And then some of you others that make those envelopes out there use those other complicated different language things, and you have to try and figure out the math. It's just too complicated for me. Now I'm going to turn and flip it. It really is. I mean, just get yourself a Martha Stewart scoreboard that comes with this triangle thing that tucks in underneath, And you know what? You'll have yourself a really easy way of making envelopes, and you can't go wrong with a Martha Stewart scoreboard. And then we get to score at the 3 5/8 again. So you have a score A and a score B, and you're going to score at 3 twice and 3 5/8 twice. So now I'm going to cut my little triangles here. So I got 4 to cut out. Get those out of the way. I'm just going to brush them off to the side. We just saw on the news we have a tornado just east of us, but not too close to us though, so we don't have to go into hibernation or safe zone, whatever you call it. And I just forgot what it was. So you cut at those lines, or as close to those lines as possible. And these envelopes can actually hold those bigger cards, so if you put a lot of stuff on your cards, like flowers and stuff like that, they will hold them. Martha Stewart knew what she was doing when she did these envelopes. We got all 4 done. All 4 things cut out? Yes. So now we're going to fold at the lines. Generally, when I'm doing these envelopes, when I make my envelopes, I'm always checking to see which is the right side and which is, you know, the down side, because a lot of times I have writing and stuff on these envelopes. At times I don't care what side is down, what side is up. And this one is one of those ones where I don't care what side is up, what side is down. We're going to put a little piece of tape. Doesn't take much. You can use glue too if you want. I just use a little bit of score tape, or whatever you want to call this tape. I use a little bit of this for my shaker cards too sometimes when I'm working on stuff. I get this tape also at Dollar Tree, and this stuff is strong and sturdy. It sticks well, does not come off or nothing. Just saying. Like, some of their stuff is not so good, but their tape, double-sided tape like that, yes, is good. So we now have an A2 size envelope, and it's ready to go. Now, if you want, if you have a hole puncher, not a hole puncher, but a rounder, you could actually pretty your envelopes. You could pretty the top part, and then, see? Not so lucky that time. It always does that to me, and I don't know why. It just, yeah, bellied up. What can I say? So there you go. You have a very pretty, beautiful envelope with a clipped edge. So there's an A2 size envelope right there. So now let's do an A7. So let's do a pink one. So let's make sure this is my 10 by 10 first before I score it in the right places. So yep, this is my 10 by 10. Make sure this is in the right spot. So I'm actually going to have to bring this down a little bit, so you're going to have to move your score thing a little bit. Because this is not always very nice. Okay, so A7, so 3 1/4. Let's see, 1/4 is right after the 1/8. So that's the 1/8. So this is the 1/8. So there's 3 1/8, 1/4 right there where the X. So I already have it marked. Oh yeah, I do. The X there and the X there. There we go. Oh, we must be good to go then. So we're gonna score that one. gonna turn it, and we're gonna go to 4 1/4. To be, or yeah, 4 1/4. Duh. Make sure I'm at the right. There we go. And we're going to turn again. And we're going to score it 3 1/4. And then 4 1/4. These circles out, and this holds your 5 by 7 size card, or 7 by 5, however you want to say it, card. Good, and you cut those little things out at the little X mark, or little triangle pieces, actually, not X. I don't want to confuse y'all. With the little triangles, you cut those. I don't know if it's hot where a lot of you are, but here in Colorado, we have been getting hot. We're getting 88 and later this 90-degree weather. Yesterday it got hot. I was thankful when that wind came through, but that heat got to me yesterday and my leg kind of got swollen. A hot air balloon, and I was like, no. I wasn't the only one with a swollen leg or swollen arm. Okay, now, here, so we'll put this one together. I don't. One time when I made my first envelope, I didn't know what I was doing, and I taped these down here, and then I put this down for some reason, and I couldn't get the paper in the envelope or the card in or something. I'm like, what did I do wrong? And then I looked and I go, oh, now I see what I did wrong. I didn't know what I was doing. First time making an envelope. Yeah. Then I realized, oh, you don't put these parts and glue them to this or tape them to this part, or you'll never get your card or letter in the envelope. Won't get anything in it. It's like, no wonder. I laughed at myself. It was like, oh, what a blow. Oh, it was so funny. I laughed at myself. So there is an A7 size envelope, ready to roll. Now we can make a slimline. So where did I do with that one? Is that this one? I think so. So let me make sure that is 10 3/4. That is, should be 10 3/4. That is a slimline. So that is gonna have to come down a little bit further so we can make sure we have room. So this one, since it's a number 10, we're going to score it at 2 7/8 and then 5 1/2. So 2 7/8. So 7/8 is right before the next. So that's right before number 1. So 2 7/8. The only thing I don't like about this thing, it doesn't have all the numbers on it. So my daughter had to write the numbers on it for me. But she wrote them down here for me on these lines, so I should be able to find it. So here's 2. So the 7/8 mark should be right here before the 3, and I do vaguely see the 7/8 right there, because they were all on there and then they kind of rubbed off. So there's the 7/8 mark right there. I do see it. So there's the 2 7/8. So we're going to score that right there. If I can get it. Oh, come on. Got that. Now we're going to turn it. And then we're going to score it at 5.5. It's easy to find. It's at the very top of our thing. And that is right here. I need to go up. Just slide my paper up a little bit. Try to make sure I'm hitting the same line, because this is, see, I wasn't paying attention. Where's that line at? There it is. I think that's it. Okay. Now we're going to turn it again. Score at 2 7/8. And then turn it. And then score at 5.5. Okay, there we go. Now let's cut those out. And we'll cut those 4 triangles out. And they're just on the corners, really. Hopefully you guys can see those. Lost a set of dies. I was looking for them last night, yesterday evening. Couldn't find them. I was looking for them today again. Couldn't find them. I don't know what I do with them, but they're a set of nesting banner dies that come with 11 in a set, and I had them on a magnet, and I wasn't using them that long ago. And then I was reorganizing my room and going through stuff and throwing away things that were falling apart and stuff like that and revamping things. But I have a hunch that I threw away my nesting dies, and I was like, oh no. So, good thing I found them on sale on Amazon, because I was like, I needed them. Because I'm making these really cute, adorable see-through cards for some of the graduation cards that I'm working on. Now, these number 10 slimline envelopes are a little big on these things, because they don't need to be that big, because they go all the way down there. So I'm going to show you what I do. I tend to fold. This is what I do. I go on my scoreboard, and I go right about here. I just score it make sure that it's not gonna hold, and then in the end, make sure I scored enough. I tape up. I don't know why it looks so. Let's see, how's that look near end? Okay. It looks a little crooked, doesn't it? Yeah. So let's do this one. Let's see if I can make this one a little straighter, shall we? Let's see here if I can line this up a little bit better. Corner to corner. This one is at this tip. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's get that taped on the ends there. Just a tiny piece of tape. Tiny piece. All it takes for these. You really need a big piece. And I've made enough of these. Okay, stay over there. Okay, now we're going to take our scissors. Sometimes I'll tape these down, sometimes I'll cut them off. So what I do most of the time is I'll just cut it at the squirt line. This one, I tend to tape down the tip there. So I will put a tiny piece of tape up there. And one side is tipped, and there you go. That fits a large size 9x4 inch slimline card. So there we have it. There's our slimline envelope. So those are the three main cards that we normally make. So we have our A2, our 5.5 by 4.25, our 5x7, and our 9x4 slimline cards that we make most of the time. So there I have it. So there you go, and if y'all want me to make more envelope sizes, I can do that too. So goodbye for now, and have a good rest of the week, and I will be posting some of my affiliate links in the description box, and that will be crickets, love, I believe love from Lizzie, but I don't know yet for sure. I'd have to check on my thing. And then Picket Fence Studio is one of my links that I will be posting in the description box. So thank you for your support, and I will talk to you later. And yeah, happy crafting, happy shopping, everybody. Thank you for your support. Goodbye.